Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. What do Todd and Julie Chrisley want out of upcoming appeal? Chrisley knows best. Alums Todd and Julie Chrisley have their oral arguments appeal heard in court next week. But what are they hoping for? Julie was convicted of 5 bank fraud charges amongst others. Meanwhile, Todd Chrisley was also convicted, but not for obstruction, which Julie faced the music for. Of course, it all arose from allegations that they wanted to defraud the USA with tax evasion. Todd and Julie Chrisley's appeal takes place on April 19. Savannah Chrisley has been campaigning against her parents' incarceration ever since they reported to their respective prisons. Todd received the 12-year sentence, and her mom was given a 7-year term behind bars. Along with the sentences, they also need to find $17.2 million in restitution. Surprisingly, the appeal filed by their attorneys was accepted, and it's rare for oral arguments to be granted on appeal. Julie Chrisley and her husband Todd claimed that they were innocent, and they blamed Mark Braddock, who managed their real estate business. In fact, they claimed that he lied, and that way, he avoided prosecution. Additionally, they filed for appeal because allegedly, an investigator made out that they habitually didn't pay taxes. Plus, there's allegedly a search done in a warehouse that didn't have a warrant. What Julie Chrisley hopes for from the appeal? The Atlanta Journal-Constitution explained that the Chrisley knows best alums hope that their attorneys convince federal appellate judges in Atlanta that the couple's 3-week trial and subsequent sentencing in 2022 were flawed for several reasons. Central to Julie's hopes is an acquittal on the 5 bank fraud charges that she was convicted of, and resentencing on 5 other counts. Of course, if Julie Chrisley wins the appeal on the restitution, that pretty much means that Todd will also get some reduced time or an acquittal. Apart from the fact that they claimed an IRS officer lied about them not paying taxes, it also seems a bit odd that the judge in the case took footage from the Chrisley Knows Best show seriously. Probably, every fan of the show knows that the family rehearsed the scripted show. However, when shown footage of Todd boasting about his massive home and excessive annual clothing bill, she noted that the couple were full of greed and flamboyance. Interestingly, the case against them by the state of Georgia ended up in their favor. Plus, Todd Chrisley recently won a lawsuit against Joshua Waits, the person in charge of the investigation into their tax evasion. And that, in itself, is unusual for a convicted prisoner serving time behind bars. As the courtroom lights loom once more, Todd and Julie Chrisley are preparing for what could be the most important performance of their lives. Only this one isn't being filmed for reality television. No perfectly arranged lighting, no witty one-liners or mansion backdrops, just a sterile courtroom, appellate judges, and the weight of consequences hanging in the air like a chandelier about to fall. But beneath the layers of designer suits, cosmetic smiles, and southern charm, a different kind of drama brews. At the heart of it all is one simple, desperate question. What do the Chrisleys want from this appeal? The answer isn't just freedom. That's too easy, too obvious. What they truly want is multifaceted, emotional, and deeply human. Yes, they want their convictions overturned. But beyond that, they want redemption, reputation restoration, and a shot at rewriting their legacy. A second chance at the spotlight? Todd Chrisley, once the proud and preening patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, is no stranger to reinvention. His rise from bankrupt real estate mogul to reality TV icon is already the stuff of tabloid legend. And now, facing prison bars and public scrutiny, he views this appeal not just as a legal procedure, but as a reset button, a chance to rewrite the narrative. In hushed conversations with his attorneys, Todd has stressed one thing: we were wronged, and now we fight back. To Todd, the appeal represents more than legal maneuvering. It's the opening scene of a redemption arc he's already scripting in his mind. If overturned, he envisions interviews with Good Morning America, a tearful sit-down with Oprah, and a best-selling memoir titled Saved by Grace, the Todd Chrisley story. The goal isn't just to go free. It's to walk out vindicated, beloved, and in control of his story. It's about peace. Julie's hopes are quieter, more maternal. Though the tabloids paint her as the elegant Southern belle complicit in financial misdeeds, those closest to her say her prison letters are filled with longing, not for public sympathy, but for her children. She counts days by Grayson's milestones and closed questions, shared a source familiar with her case. Julie doesn't dream of fame right now. She dreams of dinner around her family table. For Julie, the appeal is a plea to reclaim her identity, not as a reality star or co-conspirator, but as a mother, a wife, a woman who wants to read bedtime stories instead of case files. She worries constantly about Savannah, who has stepped in as caretaker, and about how Chloe is processing it all. So what does Julie want from the appeal? Simple. Freedom with dignity. Not a loophole or technicality, but a ruling that says, you were never the villain they painted you to be. Clearing their name. Public opinion is a strange beast. It once adored the Chrisleys, their matching outfits, sarcastic banter, and Southern sass. But when news of tax fraud and conspiracy hit, that love turned to suspicion. And while they've maintained their innocence from day one, their reputations have suffered brutal blows. The appeal, in Todd's eyes, is a war for their name. He wants the charges reversed and every headline rewritten. He dreams of press releases announcing not only their freedom, but official declarations of exoneration. His ultimate goal? To walk out and say, I told you so, with the cameras rolling. But even Todd knows it's a long shot. Appeals are rarely overturned on sweeping moral grounds. Still, their legal team has zeroed in on technical missteps, prosecutorial overreach, misleading financial testimony, and the questionable behavior of a disgruntled former employee who was central to their original trial. They're not just challenging the sentence, they're challenging the story. A return to family business. Behind closed doors, the Chrisleys are also strategizing their next chapter, if the appeal works. Savannah has already launched a podcast. Chase and Grayson have toyed with new social media ventures. The family wants to shift gears, less scripted TV, more authentic storytelling. We're not trying to go back to who we were, Savannah said in a recent interview. We want to show who we are now. That includes the pain, the mistakes, and the fight to come back from it. If released, Todd and Julie are hoping to reclaim control of their family brand, but with a twist. Less glamour, more grit, more transparency. A docuseries showing the true aftermath of incarceration, complete with therapy sessions, family reunions, and, knowing Todd, a few humorous jabs at prison cafeteria food. The bigger picture. There's also a quieter, more sobering reason for this appeal. The Chrisleys want to challenge what they believe is a larger injustice, a system that punished them more harshly because of their fame. If we were nobodies, would they have cared this much? Todd reportedly told a friend. We were made an example of. Their legal team is increasingly framing their appeal as not just a defense of the Chrisleys, but a critique of celebrity justice. They argue the prosecution built its case as much on public perception as it did on paper trails, capitalizing on the spectacle rather than the specifics. The future, unwritten. Ultimately, what Todd and Julie Chrisley want out of their upcoming appeal is what everyone longs for in the end, a chance to begin again. They want their freedom, yes, but also their truth to be heard. They want Chloe to grow up without whispers at school. They want to visit their children on holidays without bulletproof glass between them. They want to prove to a skeptical world that their story isn't over yet. As the court date approaches, the Chrisleys are bracing for whatever verdict may come. Whether it's a reversal, a reduced sentence, or another denial, they know one thing for sure. The fight has changed them. And in that courtroom, they'll be asking not just for justice, but for the right to turn the page. And perhaps, just perhaps, to remind the world that even the most polished families can find themselves broken and still put the pieces back together.